use it to irrigate your lawn. But then again, you may want to look at the type of soaps you use to ensure that it's biodegradable and won't have any detrimental effects to the process that you are now intending to use the water. Then, having a look at the irrigation side, a lot of commercial and residential or even farms use a lot of water on their irrigation side. Agriculture is actually the biggest water user around South Africa, accounting for somewhere around 58% of the actual total water used. So there are a lot of times there are large opportunities to reduce on water usage in your irrigation system. For example, you could look at installing drip irrigation as opposed to your regular sprinkler system. Drip irrigation is point source irrigation, so it is put directly where it is needed. And obviously by the intention of the name, it is a drip water source rather than a large sprinkler source. So therefore, through the nature of the actual implementation itself, you will definitely use less water. You can also look at using indigenous plants in your gardens or on your areas where you do use plants, because indigenous plants are often in tune with the weather patterns within that specific area. So they're in tune with the weather cycles and the amount of water available in a specific area. The use of exotic plants often will use 2 to 3 times the amount of water that indigenous plants typically would. So thereby, by being conscious about the type of plants being used in your gardens, you can also reduce on the required amount of water and hence maybe reduce the amount of times you actually irrigate your gardens. Once again, on the automation side, you can look at having automated timers and also including sensors in the ground. The sensors in the ground will indicate the water content within the soil and will only allow the sprinkler system or irrigation system to run when it is low enough or the plant actually require more water in the soil. Then on the rainwater collection side, as I said, I mentioned this a few times throughout the webinar, you can look at possibly collecting the runoff water off of your roof, as some facilities have large surface areas to capture water which typically would run through the whole system of the facility without ever being used or captured. So rainwater collection is often another good water management opportunity to look at certain facilities. Then on the shower side, I mentioned low flow shower heads. You can look for low flow shower heads on the Eskom IDM site, which is Integrated Demand Management, or used to be DSM, Demand Side Management. The reason why it is on the Eskom site is if you reduce on water usage in your showers, you're also reducing on the need for hot water and hence the amount of energy required to heat that water. So therefore, Eskom also recommends that everyone installs a low flow shower head to both reduce on water and on energy requirements. Looking at possibly installing a reduced pressure geyser if replacement is required. By having a low pressure geyser, this will then in turn ensure that less water is actually being forced out of the shower head, and in turn you will therefore use less water. The grey water collection and treatment system again goes back to the showers and basins to collect it and use in your garden. So now that we've gone through certain water management opportunities, we've listed a few, we're now going to just have a quick look at how you would actually evaluate what are the best options to maybe implement at your facility. Now ideally, you would have completed a full water audit identifying all water usage operations at the facility. Once you've identified every operation on your facility, you can then go about putting together your water management strategy and identifying opportunities to reduce on water and to save on cost. Now a lot of the time what we like to do is we like to create a firm business case around each water management opportunity. Now, this business case is based around things such as your capital expenditure, your operational expenditure, your water and financial savings, and then at the end of the day, what your payback will be and your return on investment for implementing such a water management opportunity. Such things such as low flow shower heads for example, will cut the water savings in half and have a payback of anywhere from up to 2.5 months and a return on investment of up to 400%. So, therefore, after the first 2.5 months of installing your shower head, it would have paid itself off, and then you are in essence saving money from there on out. And with a return on investment of 400%, the banks nowadays are giving anywhere to best up to 16 to 20%. So to get a return on investment for spend of up to 400% is generally unheard of. So these type of opportunities do exist in the water management field. It just takes the initiative to go about starting the water audit, getting together some ideas, sitting around the table, brainstorming your potential options, and then having a look at the business case around each one of those opportunities. Then ideally, rather than just saying that we've gone through the process of doing audit and creating water management strategy, ideally the main aim is to be environmentally friendly and reduce on your water usage. So ideally you would like to go ahead and implement that water management opportunity. That brings me to the end of this webinar today. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for listening. I'd just like to go over the slide of what we at GCX actually do. GCX is a leading environmental and sustainability consulting agency and trading provider. We have a strong focus on providing a clear business case for clients on their environmental investments. We specialize in carbon, energy, water, and waste management, especially on the water side, seeing it as a water webinar. We do water audits for our clients, and we will also put together a water management strategy based around a business case if needed. We also look at environmental strategy and policy development. We also have a strong arm in training and education. We have offices within Cape Town, Johannesburg, Namibia, and the United States of America, where our team in all of those divisions have strong backgrounds in the commercial, environmental, and education fields. I'd like to thank you for your time once again. Hopefully everything made sense to you and you can now go about looking at implementing a water management strategy within your organization. We happen to have 7 minutes left to the hour, so hopefully I can answer one or two of the questions. This slide is just some of the clients we have worked with. In the past, we've worked with some of the top 30 clients on the JSE, so we have worked with a lot of the heavy hitters. We have a lot of experience within the water, carbon, and energy field. So I'm having a look at one of the first questions coming through. If my water bills are about 5,000 Rand per month, how much can I realistically expect to save per month? Well, first of all, that depends on the complexity of your system. 5,000 Rand per month is from our experience, isn't a major area, but with that sort of usage, you can look to save anywhere from 15 to 40%. As I mentioned earlier, there are certain behavioral changes and simple technology fits which you can install, which have large savings up to 30-40% just through certain simple initiatives. I'm just waiting to see if there is another question. We have, what is the difference between a water footprint and a water audit? A water footprint is based around how much water you actually use as an entire company. It's often based around your corporate water footprint and your operational water footprint. So how much actual water is being used by a specific company, whereas a water audit actually looks at identifying water management opportunities. It has a look at all the operations within your company. It does quantify the actual water usage. However, it looks about taking it one step further, where you would like to implement what we call, and what we've been speaking about in this webinar, is implementing a water management strategy. Unfortunately, we seem to have run out of time. If there are any further questions, please just send them through. You can also send them directly directly to my email address, which is justinlee@globalcommonexchange.com. I will most definitely get back to you within the next day or two. I hope that this webinar has been helpful and it gives you a better understanding of what actual water management is and how it can benefit you and your company. Thanks very much.